Welcome to a very long segment. Even played at double speed, I was barely able to fit it in the 11-minute limit, so there is not a whole lot to talk about. It's just fighting all the trainers. I get most of them. Some of them require cut to reach. I'll come back for those later when I check out the wild Pokemon in the areas. Anyway, for your unentertainment today, I've decided to read Bargo the Bikdip, which, if you don't already know, is the terrible fanfic that my friend and I wrote several years ago. I already read 2 chapters of it in a previous video. I'll have an annotation linking to it here, so you can listen to those. Don't feel like reading them again, so I will be starting from chapter 3. This is probably going to be very useless, but it's funny because of how bad it is. So anyway, chapter 3. So Bikdip, with his friend Steigo with a package, started his journey. They both finally reached Town City. A Schmigenhagen was at the border to greet them, but it just stood there with its mouth open, so they went on. Suddenly, a Carbo cookie fell on Steigo's head, and it evolved into a Casto Kaiji, which is a cross between a Steigo and a Carbo cookie, and it is still holding the parcel. Bargo rolls around for no apparent reason, so they go to a soup kitchen. In the soup kitchen, another Carbo cookie fell on Casto Kaiji's head and devolved him back to a Steigo, so I don't have to type that anymore. Yay. Now that that is settled, let me please introduce the characters. Bargo is a Bikdip, the final evolution of Bargo. For some reason, its name in this story is its first form. Ask Green Lantern. I probably don't have to read this stuff, but I will anyway. It is a round thing with 3 eyes. Very bad description. Steigo is a stick figure bending over to its right side extremely far. It's the evolution of Arbo, and it evolves into Had. I'm skipping all this. Okay. Anyway, on to the story. In the soup kitchen, there was soup. Nothing exciting happened. Suddenly, a group of robbers burst into the kitchen. They danced around, ate some toast, and then left. In a few seconds, they came back and stole all the soup. They then ran off with it. "Helpa, helpa!" A cook with a fake Italian accent came in. "Hiya, you a little characters of this ficca. They stole my soupa. Canna you get to them Steigo grew 3 times its size and then chased after them. It pulled out a mallet out of its package because it was a magic package. With great strength, it smashed the robbers into rubble. However, the soup leaked into the ground. "Oh no," said the cook. "My soupa is gone." With a cry of "Hi-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti-ti," the soup sprouted into a tree bearing large cans of soup, and one of them crushed the cook. Bargo and Steigo stood silent. A tumbleweed rolled by. The tumbleweed turned out to be an Elementino covered in sticks rolling around. Bargo and Steigo went over to it and took all the sticks off, and then they ate some bosberries. The Elementinos seemed grateful. Suddenly a storm came in less than a second. A purple lightning bolt hit Elementino, and his eyes flared fuchsia. He turned to Steigo and Bargo and grinned evilly. He went quicker than a fox and snatched the magic box out of Steigo's hands and ripped it open. He pulled Bargo and Steigo in with his energy sphere, then put them in the box and sealed it. He then threw the box and got blown away, and his eyes turned back to normal. 14,000 years later, give or take 14,000 years, Steigo and Bargo burst out of the box. But they were not 2 beings anymore. The magic box had done something strange. Bargo had melded with Steigo to form, somehow, a Bargo. As you would have guessed, he was unhappy. He fell over and laid there for unit of time days, until someone picked him up. He told them he needed to find an evil Elementino. "You're in luck," he exclaimed. "Here, I'll take you home and show him to you," he explained. Bargo was excited. The man also seemed excited to show them it. He brought them to a large garage in which there was a very odd creature. "Well, here is my elemental rhino," he said. "We said an evil Elementino," Bargo said in 2 voices. "Oh. Too bad. Come pet him," he frowned. So Bargo somehow pet the rhino with issues. But as soon as he touched it, he started glowing. The light split in 2, then formed into a Bikdip and a Steigo. Then they individually pet the rhino. Steigo evolved into a Had, and Bargo the Bikdip turned rainbow colors. Then the 2 things left. Had to hop around. I don't know why. Then they walked under the soup tree, and a giant soup can fell off and crushed Bargo. Had melted it with his burning neck, and luckily Bargo was still alive. It seemed that the rainbow colors were what caused him to live. Just then a tumbleweed rolled by. Bargo rushed over and ripped all the sticks off. There was a small yucco inside, so they gave it some soup and let it join them on their journey. Here I explain what the new ones are again. I guess I probably should. Elementino is like an atom-ish thing. Bargo is just a blue triangle with a frown in one eye. Had is a stick figure that stands on its own head and has fire coming out of where its head should be. Yucco is an egg with like a beak and tail and feathers coming out of it. Anyway, Bargo, Had, and Yucco continued on their journey. By the way, their entire point of traveling is to find out what happened to Bargo, referring back to the beginning of the story. Great writing there. Now, along the way, there were some exciting points. Yucco found a John Boo. John Boo is sort of a cubic character with straight lines for eyes, arms, legs, and a tail. It has a little mouth on the bottom side of the line that goes down its center, horizontally. Yucco kept it as a pet. However, more importantly, they found a Yuckronsky. When a first form beats its final evolution in a battle, it evolves. Had, and Bargo weakened it, then Yucco finished it off with a wing whack and a beak hammer. It shone a bright white light, then evolved into Snorky, a pudgy little bird with the same features as Yucco, but now it has small wings. It probably couldn't evolve into a Yuckronsky, though. To evolve, it has to take in all the surprises, which nobody knows how to do. They continued on to the city of Townsville. There they met up with a random guy who was breakdancing. He lost a pendant of some sort. Bargo picked it up and noticed the inscription of BFJ on the back. Not thinking it was of much importance, he left it on the ground, figuring the breakdancer might find it later. Suddenly, something rose from the shadows. At first they didn't know what it could be. Then they noticed that it wasn't attacking them yet, which was a good sign. The figure started to step out of a shadow. For a fleeting instant, Bargo remembered the face half hidden in shadow. Then the figure was fully out of shadow. He was a little hunched over, wearing mostly rags and a jacket. And then the Schmeigenhagen asked for some cheese because he was feeling depressed. Had gave him a block of cheese. The Schmeigenhagen thanked him for the cheese and ate it in 15/17 of a bite. John Boo got excited and a bite before the rest was eaten. Then he puked it up and it turned into a Junspinar. This was his chance to evolve. So first Bargo got in the way of a Bosberry bomb attack, knocking him unconscious. But this gave Had just enough time. He used a neck flame torch and took Junspinar down to a thread. John Boo touched him and he died. So John Boo glowed green and turned into a Genbarang. This made him too big for Snorky to keep as a pet. So the four companions finally went to sleep in a rundown hotel with most of its walls missing. In the hotel, it was evidently very crappily made. There was only one room where all four of them had to sleep. Had couldn't sleep on the bed because it would set it aflame. Snorky slept in a makeshift nest on the TV, and Genbarang and Bargo slept in the bed. At 2:89 a.m., there was a rapping on the door. It was a Kez. Kez is a completely round pig with a spiky thing on its head and a curly tail. "Yo, I got something to sell." "What? It's 10 to 3 in the morning," said Had. I was selling all the surprises for a lousy $9.99. $99. $1,000? No way. Suddenly, Snorky went crazy. "Okay, let's buy it. Come on, I have plenty of money," and pulled a $1,000 bill out of nowhere and bought it. It was in a nice little package. Over the next few weeks, Snorky took in all the surprises by getting surprised or startled in every way possible. One was getting shot in the back with a freezing cold water gun, which got on Genbarang a little, causing it to evolve into a Junspinar as well. After about a month in the roach-infested hotel, Snorky finally evolved. Now it was a Yuckronsky, a bird that looks like Articuno, but a smaller body, and its wings and tail are extremely huge. So now the group is four fully evolved strange creatures. Not bad for Chapter 8, huh? Yeah, it's good. So the four companions finally decided to continue on their journey. They left the hotel, and all there was the one room, so they didn't have to pay. The breakdancer was still there, dancing the same dance. After a little while, they all came to a huge building. It had no distinguishing marks except for a plaque on the door. It read, "The City Village Gym Leader, Block." Well, at least we've reached City Village. Yeah, whatever. Want to battle anyone? Sure, let's all go. It'll be fun. Okay. So they entered the gym. Someone somewhere said, "You here to challenge me?" "Yes," they all replied. "But you need a human trainer, dipshit." Damn. So they left to find a trainer. They found the breakdancing guy. They looked at each other, then all screamed really loud. This caused the breakdancer to get the move wrong, break his neck, and die. Well, we can't use him. So they continued looking for a trainer. They found a farm with a scarecrow on it, and Bargo had an idea. Come on, let's just steal the thing, then dress it up like a trainer and use him. So that's exactly what they did. They stole some clothes, ate some cheese, and went back to the gym. You got a trainer now? Sure do. Then let's battle. Go, lump of cheese. Junspinar stood behind the scarecrow, holding him up, and said in a crappy voice, Go, Had. So out came the creatures. Had simply burnt him to a crisp. Then the gym leader sent out Block of cheese. Had torched him most of the way, then ate the rest. Block never got him back. Then Block sent out Ziggerdo. This might be a challenge. Had thought, Ziggerdo, use Bubba Beam. Wait, what? I don't even know. Ziggerdo let loose his signature move laser beam thing. Luckily, Had used an Eat and ate most of the beam. Then Ziggerdo used Melt, turning it into a liquid on the floor and trickling everywhere. Had was so surprised he didn't move, so Ziggerdo's liquid came up under him, surrounded him, and apparently solidified back to regular Ziggerdo. Then Had sort of fell out of him, knocked out. And I am nearly out of time, so I'm just going to have to stop mid-chapter. I know this is very useless. I might end up reading more of this later. I have no idea. So, yeah, next time stuff.